Hello everyone, it's Melissa from Illuminate Guidance. Today I want to introduce you to my two best friends and talk a little bit about how we know what is the right decision for us in any moment. So I want to introduce you to my dogs. This is Lionel. He is a 9-pound Chihuahua and I found him in the forest. Believe it or not, one day I was walking our lab and this little guy just came crawling out of the woods, out of nowhere, wet and cold, and laid on his back and was just so sad. And so I brought him home and washed him off, and I thought, well, surely I can find his owner, or if not, I'm going to take him to the pound, because no one who knows me has ever heard me say that having a Chihuahua is at the top of my wish list. So the shelter was closed for a couple of days and he just wormed his way into our hearts, and I was actually getting ready to take him up to the shelter, and I stopped by my husband's work and said, it's time to get this little guy a new home. And he said, what? I don't want you to. And I said, I don't want to either. And we both just got tears in our eyes, and we've had this little guy ever since. And of all the things that went through my mind, it's not a good idea to get another dog. Dogs are expensive. What's our other dog gonna do? All of those things, in the end, didn't really matter, because we just followed our hearts and we just love him. And every day since, he has brought so much joy and so much laughter and so much love into our lives, and haven't regretted it for a single minute. And here's my other unplanned adoption over here. This is Olive. She is, hey Olive. Hi, girl. She's eating her treat. She's a big old 90-pound black lab who is also an unplanned adoption. She showed up here one day. I was actually sitting right here wrapping Christmas presents by the fire, and we had recently lost our golden retriever in a very unexpected, very violent way, and we're just so sad. And a neighbor of mine said, hey, I've got, a little Christmas present for you, and I'm gonna bring it on by. There she was, this little tiny black ball of fluff. And I just broke into tears and was like, I can't have a dog. It hurts too much to lose them. It's not a good time, all of those things that go through your mind when you're trying to make a tough decision and when something really unexpected happens. And so she said, well, I've got errands to run and I'll come back in a couple of hours, and if you want me to take her back, I will. Of course, that didn't happen. So anyway, getting a dog is certainly an important decision, and it's very important to be very responsible about that, that it's something that you can handle, and it's something that is, the right thing for you and your family long term. But in the end, it really brings up a lot for me around how we make our decisions. And as I get further along in life, I have been trusting my gut, my intuition, and my heart more and more, because I'm finding that when I make decisions out of love and not out of fear, that I tend to not regret them. I tend to get more of what I need and want out of my life. And I think that women have ways of knowing that have to do with our intuition and our emotions that are sometimes undervalued underneath things like rational, logical, practical. What are all those things? So anytime we're faced with a big decision, there are bound to be many competing values. And when I make a choice out of love, it's always the right choice. And so I would love to know about something that you invited into your life out of pure love, whether it's a pet, a home, a dress, a friend, a child. Post a picture or a description of a time when you made a decision out of love. I'd love to get to know you better and celebrate making decisions out of love with you. And if I can be a resource for you with any decisions that you're struggling with shifting out of the fear-based, way of deciding into more of a love-based existence, I'd love to get on a call with you. So I'll drop my breakthrough link in the chat and welcome you to book a free call with me.